Starla's Forms and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be talking about inclusion and theatre on the epileptic side. I've already done a video on the autistic spectrum, so if you guys haven't seen it yet, I'll leave a link in the description box below and in the card, and let me know what you think because I would love to hear your thoughts. This is also the first part of the series that I'm describing myself as a performer whilst studying at Chicken Shed. So I'm going to give you a bit of a heads up. Not too much information, but just telling you my experience as an epileptic performer. Well, autistic and epileptic performer, but just focusing on epilepsy. Being an epileptic performer as well as an autistic performer, it was never easy, let's just put it that way. I was diagnosed with epilepsy during my time at Chicken Shed, and I already finished the foundation degree of the course and was starting the BA degree, and at that time I'd already been at Chicken Shed for 4 years, and I had the second seizure whilst I was studying there 2 years ago. So I had to adjust with myself once I came back to start the new term in September. When I started my first day, I really didn't know what to do. None of my friends knew I had been recently diagnosed, so I kept it secret for a while. But how I adjusted to things, it was slow. I had to take it step by step. First of all, I had to deal with myself. As well as taking medication, I had to concentrate and focus on a various number of things. But for the main majority of it was pretty scary. Being a performer, you have to look after your health, but be aware of others around you. This includes rehearsing and performing on the stage. When I did things like that, I was really terrified. I couldn't do various things such as lift a person out of a wheelchair, because if I had an absent seizure, I could have caused an accident, not just for myself, but for other peers too. This put me under a bit of stress because I wanted to do my part and to help others, but I know I had to hold back because there are things I know I couldn't do. And because I kept having absent seizures a lot, it was pretty daunting. When it came to rehearsing, I tend to freeze every few seconds without me noticing it, and it's only when a peer said my name and telling me something, then I just wake up like, whoa, did I just clock out for a few seconds? But not many of my peers knew what it's like to be epileptic, and some of them at first thought I wasn't really paying attention. It was negative, but it's not negative on their part, but only for mine, because I didn't tell them. I kept my diagnosis secret for a long time, and I was afraid to admit it. It's the same as performing on the stage. Performing shows 3 times a year is no easy task, because for most of the shows we had about 800 cast members, including staff, students and volunteers, and performing with them caused me a lot of anxiety because I had to be aware of others around me, and I had to help everyone else in case they didn't know where to go, because some of the cast members freeze themselves and they get stuck, so others have to guide them along because they don't have epilepsy, but with their difficulties they don't know what to do and they can't independently find which position to go on the stage. So I had to take full responsibility, not just from them, but from myself too. And there were times where I couldn't handle it. I thought I was going to have a meltdown because I was doing a really bad job, I didn't know what to do, and I didn't know how to react. There have been times where I bumped into people and froze during a performance. I didn't have a seizure when I would bump into people, but I tend to get like a bit of mist and clouds, a bit of dizziness, and it's only when I realised when I touch a shoulder or just bump into them, and then I know I'm causing the collision. During one performance, I was meant to be doing a dance piece. I just froze there, having an absent seizure, when someone accidentally knocked my jaw with their elbow. And honestly, I don't blame them because it was my fault. Luckily, my jaw wasn't dislocated or I didn't lose a tooth, so I was pretty lucky. After a few months, there was a point where I had to tell staff and my friends about my diagnosis. I did, and they were absolutely fine with it, so I worried for nothing. Since then, I have been trying to find other ways to improve myself. I was feeling more confident, I was trying to lead things, get involved in group discussions a bit more. I helped my friends too when they were stuck, and I also organised a few things to raise money for our Just Giving site, such as a charity bid, which was very exciting. I did some mini show tours as well. During that time, I went on tour where I performed outside of Chicken Shed. This was part of my course because we had to deliver issue-based theatre to people who have never heard of Chicken Shed before, or some people who have connections with Chicken Shed but want to share them with other organisations such as drama schools and secondary/high schools. Each time I performed, my confidence grew. Oh, hello. You're scratching yourself, are you? Oh, someone's got an itch. I think Freddie made it through that low. Every time I did a show, I realised I was becoming more aware of the people around me. But I've had one or two hiccups, which is okay. But I thought to myself I could have done better. I'm not the best actress in the world, but I always want to push myself just to be the best I can be. Chicken Shed have been really supportive with my epilepsy diagnosis because not only the staff but my friends have tried to include me in more work and more pieces that I can do, and they've encouraged me to write more stuff as part of my dissertation, which I already sent by now, and they encouraged me to improve my acting skills a bit more, so they tend to say project your voice a bit more so the audience can hear you, or maybe try something, or maybe give a little tweak for a monologue and try something different. And that's when I realised inclusion was the most important thing to ever treasure. Inclusion is not just a word, it's about inviting people with all abilities to come together to make a difference, whether it's delivering a piece of theatre or speaking out for an issue that you believe in. Everybody has supported me through thick and thin, and I really cannot thank them enough. Even in troubled times, they were always there to make me smile. I also knew two other friends in my year who were also diagnosed with epilepsy, and like me, they were included with all of their performances, but whenever they needed time out or if they have a seizure, then staff are always on hand to help them and to make them feel comfortable and relaxed. I never had a seizure at Chicken Shed, though I was close to having one a couple of times. I always knew what to do, putting myself in the recovery position, but there were always members who would sit beside me and just wait with me until I decided whether I wanted to go home or stay for a little bit, just so I can get a drink and something to eat. It just goes to show that people are looking out for each other, and that is the most wonderful thing to have. I'm not sure how many epileptic people cope with all the lights with epilepsy, but in my experience, as long as they take their medication, eat, drink and live a very healthy life, then I'm sure that they will be okay. And with Chicken Shed's help, I managed to perform independently in a group or on my own, and that is the most wonderful thing in the world. I'm hoping to take this experience with me. Well, I've already taken this experience with me, but I want to increase it a bit more to help epileptic actors. If a teacher at Chicken Shed can help an epileptic performer like myself, I'm sure that I as an individual would be able to help more epileptic actors. And I'm going to leave this video here. I really hope it gave you an insight on what it's like being an epileptic performer. Like I said in another previous video, which I'll also leave in the description box down below, I will be doing more videos about my days at Chicken Shed. So not every single bit of it, but just based on my own experience. I don't know whether I will be doing them a lot because I've got a lot of things going on at the moment outside of YouTube, but I can honestly say that it will be a pleasure to share these with you. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell for more future videos, and I'll catch you very soon. Goodbye!